Hey you, so in this video, buying gold with Bitcoin, I thought I'd go over my own personal experience that I've had purchasing gold, and specifically gold as of late. And I mentioned earlier that I would be picking up a lot more gold this year. The majority of the purchases that I've done with gold, I would say easily 85% have been with Bitcoin. Now, that's purely been the coins I've got on display here and I've showed in previous videos as I've done them, and that's going to be gold in weight. Now, for me, I'll go over some of the pros that I've had when I've been buying with Bitcoin, and also address a few of the cons that could be. But I know, just putting this out there for a lot of the individuals who are absolutely, and I know there's a lot, I've come across all types every day. And there's individuals out there that absolutely hate BTC, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and everything related to them. And, you know, they just bark and preach it's nothing and it's worthless and it's absolute nothingness. But in the end of the day, from my own personal experience, there's nothing you can't buy with worthless fiat, as others that hate against that stuff there. There's nothing you can't buy with worthless fiat that you can't buy with Bitcoin. Now, it's one of those things where people get very emotional. I'm not one of those type of people, but individuals get very emotional for whichever reasons that they may have to dislike something. A lot of the times I feel like, you know, it's different strokes in the end of the day. But for me, there's 100% opportunities in everything that some individual may dislike. You know, there's horror stories and there's, you know, moon stories, no matter how you look at it. So for me, I got into cryptocurrencies, I'd say ending of last year, tail end of last year. I was, you know, dibble dabbling about, but picked it up a little when I saw investment opportunities, especially with the collector coin market slowing down, or, you know, with a lot of the shady tactics employed. I started becoming more of a, you know, I'm already a collector cowboy. I became somewhat of a crypto cowboy, and I'll go over just some of the means and methods that I've used to acquire more gold, technically on the house. But as I was saying, you know, for each individual that dislikes, this video is going to be damn near a horror story. But I would definitely, most definitely say there's 100% opportunities here. You know, within my own personal circle, I have friends that, you know, just can't understand or even imagine as to why I collect physical gold and silver. You know, I'm damn near a tin hat foil wearing quack to them. You know, then there'll be individuals that can't understand why you're into this, stocks or whatever it may be. Someone's always going to dislike it, but I can pretty much promise you there's going to be, you know, success stories in any of these markets. So I'm not the type that's going to shy away from it. I've done my due diligence extremely and thoroughly, and I'll get onto that in a moment. And I work within my own comfort level, but everything I'm going to be talking about when it's regarding some of the tactics I've used to purchase gold with Bitcoin will most definitely come with a higher risk. I mean, with gold and silver, and this is a gold and silver channel I've got here, it's pretty simple. I'm talking about a collector coin, be it silver or gold. It's only two things you're getting into. You know, you can either be doing paper, metals, or physical. I do physical, so you're only going to have the option of one or the two, really. It's going to be gold or silver. And you can find your people that call us cavemen or fools for stacking this stuff, but it's limited. You know, when you get into the realm of cryptocurrencies, it's many. You know, you've got the main one, which is Bitcoin, which a lot cash in and cash out of, which is technically the biggest. But then you have the thousands of altcoins also, and this is what leads to the confusion and individual steering clear. And I was the same in the beginning, but I can tell you what, if I would have been, you know, doing what I'm doing now 18 months ago, my stack would be double the size of what it was already. And that's just from my own tactics that I've employed. So I'll just talk on my own personal experience from buying gold, and I specifically focused on gold for the first pro that I'll be talking about, because, you know, with cryptos, the opportunity, as risky as it is there to have a very large windfall. And I came across that with one of the altcoins that I was involved with. So putting in a lot of cryptos into a small amount, so, you know, cashing out a lot into something that isn't technically too heavy as like silver, was definitely an option for me. So I'll jump straight into that, stating that the first pro for myself buying gold with Bitcoin has been, it's been a good cash out option. You know, so individuals, if it's going well for individuals in crypto, come across this, everyone has their own reasons, whether they're hiding from the man or it's just that they've got a lot in it, you'll come across a situation where cashing out, you know, getting your cryptos into, be it fiat that you want to cash out to, can be drawn out. You can run into hurdles. It can be a lot of KYC and the likes of, so know your customer, and a lot of hurdle jumping. So individuals that do well in it find other avenues to cash out. And so the fact that a lot of bullion dealers, and I would mention that within all around the world now, are accepting Bitcoin. A lot of the bigger dealers, it's a good option for individuals, especially for myself, whereas I've mentioned before, I'm going long with Bitcoin. Excuse me, I'm going long with physical metals all the way. So, you know, I'm a lifelong stacker when it comes to gold and silver. So being able to purchase it with Bitcoin is fantastic for me. So cashing out of my gains and putting it straight into what I'm going absolutely long with is just a match made in heaven for me. So it's a fantastic cash out option that I've been taking absolute full advantage with, and it's one of the definite pros because, you know, you can have a large sum. It's absolutely no different than when you're purchasing with fiat. If you're going to be buying any physical metals, you're going to be purchasing it either guide in store with hard cash, which is something I've done like very rarely with the bulk of my stack, unless it's from friends. And then your next option is going to be the usual route, which will be funds from your account, and then you're wiring them, writing them a check, or paying over the card, or whichever way. It's absolutely no different when you're doing it with Bitcoin, but I'll go into another one of the pros. So that's going to be the first pro, with my own personal experience buying gold with Bitcoin. It's been a fantastic other avenue of cashing out of crypto gains. Now the second one is going to be it's a risky hedge against inflation. Of course, I would class it, for the average novice, it's not something you can easily tell them to do. So I would put it more along the, you know, medium to higher risk of hedge against inflation. And that, to take for an example, I have damn near picked up an ounce of gold for around £650 sterling, and that's around $850. And that's been, from me, technically, to give a rough, simple example, was, for instance, putting £650 sterling onto my Coinbase account, for instance, putting it in Bitcoin, and, you know, finding, obviously, this is where all of your research and due diligence comes into play here, where you're finding out when the dips are. You know, there's individuals that are smart chart readers, and, you know, you've got your predictionists and people that can see into the future and the likes of, and just your average, you know, market readers that, you know, currently the market's down, is it a good time to put some money into Bitcoin, whether you want to play about or not. You know, the main couple on Coinbase are said to be the safest bets, but I'd put down, for instance, £650 on Bitcoin in a down market, which technically could be classed as now, as time of recording this video. And when it bumps up or jumps up in price, I would cash out. And it can jump up in price. You're going to have your currency price, and the £650 for me on many occasions, for instantly turned into £1,200 and easily over £1,000. And then from there, I'm taking that in whatever Satoshis that is, and then making a purchase straight into gold. So for me, it's been knowing what my goals are and sticking to them. You know, I've had individuals at the time when I've cashed out within my own comfort level told me Bitcoin's going up, you know, and it's all, I would say, on each individual. I've seen individuals very level-headed, and, you know, as coins or whichever has taken a massive spike, they throw it all out the window. You know, they get drunk off of the high and cash out at the wrong time, or go for more. You can't really call it greed, because each and everybody has their own level. So for me, I set my own comfort level. If I know I'm aiming for an ounce of gold, and for instance, if I put in £650, $850, once it reaches that level for me, I'm happy from there. And not to forget, I'm going to be purchasing in Bitcoin, so wherever that is in the Satoshis or Bitcoins from there, I will cut it and then make the direct purchase. And that's been one of the joys of having a lot of bullion dealers now accepting Bitcoin. The purchase is as straightforward as when you're doing it via your normal means. Once again, my own personal experience here, it'll reach my comfort level. I'll directly switch the screen, make my purchase, paying the Bitcoins with the extra gains, and I've technically, to put it short, been able to buy the ounce of gold, for instance, for around £650. $850. Now that's been the case with the majority of the ounces that I've picked up, and I'll go into some of the other methods and means that I've used. But once broken all down, it's worked out where I've been picking up that much. Of course, you get out what you put in. Each and every individual has their own price point and comfort level that they're willing to do, but it is a medium to risky or medium to high risk opportunity an individual may want to take. They could be putting anything from $100 to £100 on Coinbase and just give a feeler and see how it works out for them. You know, I'd say within a lot of the times I've had results within 30 days, within a 1 month period. I know what I'm doing. If it's metal money I would have put aside for metals anyway, it would go into that Coinbase account, for instance, and when it does whatever it does, going up. Now, by no means don't think the OUA is up, but if you time your buys right, as for instance now, time of releasing this video, I'd say Bitcoin is around $6,500, so we're looking at about £4,900 sterling. It's talk at the town is it's got ways to go down. You know, its talk is it can go down lower. But from my own personal experience, from where we are right now, you hear people talking about resistance levels, and if it breaks this and it breaks that, if I'm wanting to make a quick little £300–400 on top, I could put some money in now, and I think I'd comfortably wait within 28 days, 30 days, and I've no doubt it would go back up. Now, 100% not guaranteed, and this is where the volatility and the high risk can come in when we're talking about something like Bitcoin. But for an individual wanting to maybe pick up a 1/10 ounce or silver, even trying that same method with say $100 or £100 and just putting it on Bitcoin and waiting 30 days and seeing what happened, not forgetting that you can purchase with the actual Bitcoin should you gain, is something that I've been doing, and it's definitely worked. So, you know, whether the pound and the euro's down and spot price is down, but the strength of whichever currency you may be involved in, me doing the majority of my gold purchase this year has been one of the benefits of me picking up gold for cheaper, one, and two, technically getting gold on the house through going into altcoins, which I won't bother going into here, but just doing that alone. Now, another pro for me has been somewhat of a double bubble bonus pay. And this is going to be where I've been using other means to actually increase my Bitcoin. And that's been, well, we've got a lot of noise in the background. That's been from me technically doing what I was just explaining, where for instance, I put £650 on Bitcoin, waited within my comfort time zone. It's gone up in price, so it shot up in price. I've now got, say, £1,200. My 650 is now worth £1,200 in Bitcoin. And a method that individuals use will be taking the money out of Bitcoin and putting it into something like Tether, or we've got the new Gemini coin and the likes coming up. Now, with that, the Tether is pegged to the US dollar. So one Tether is pegged to $1 now. You know, it also comes with its controversies, but it works if you're doing technically what I'm doing, which is crypto cowboy trading, and that's then waiting on the drop back in Bitcoin price. So, you know, I cash out at 1,200. I've initially put in £650, cash out at 1,200 within my own comfort levels. Of course, all of this is going to take information on your end, knowing and understanding somewhat of the charts in the markets. And then when it crashes back down, for instance, from 1,200, I've done it easily back down to where I've put in, or I would say I've normally cashed out about £750. I then take it out of Tether and repurchase the Bitcoin for a lot cheaper, technically giving me even more Bitcoin, and that's going to be another pro. Doing that method there, I've made a lot. You know, I've made well over 2 Bitcoin when I've had a certain amount of Bitcoin in there. Doing it on a small scale where my aim has been purchase an ounce of gold. I've easily covered a 1/4 ounce of gold and a 1/2 ounce of gold on the house. So that has been the main pros for me when I've been purchasing with Bitcoin. I'm getting confused. I'm showing gold and talking BTC here. So it's definitely been a plus for me. You know, I've been a collector coin cowboy. It's been very quiet, not a lot going on with the collector coins. I see opportunity where I see it. I know where others fear, I don't. I've walked into it. There's been many others that have done this in a much deeper, higher scale than myself. I'm doing it on a small scale. I know my limits. It's all down to the individual. You know, like I said, I've seen individuals get drunk off the spike and lose themselves. I've seen individuals damn near bet a house on it and lose. By no means has it all been a plus side for me. When I first got into cryptos, I've got into coins, gone in a little too heavy, and then had to bail out, you know, at half of what I initially put in. So with anything, I would say, in getting onto the first con, when you're purchasing with Bitcoin, it is extremely risky. It's going to take a lot of due diligence. It's not as simple as metals, whereas with physical, you technically know what you're getting and you don't. Here, a manipulation can take a bigger form because there's so many different altcoins. There's bigger opportunities, upside potential in altcoins than just the usual three main bad boys, but then there's also bigger risks. I've got into both and gained nicely and been able to increase my gold stack very nicely by doing these means. But I'd say the first con would be you have to do your research. You have to do your research. You have to do your research. You know, if you can't read charts like myself, or you're not the greatest at reading them, become a part of a network, or, you know, I've got a small little crypto group that I'm involved with where, you know, you can back and forth and just bounce ideas off one another. It's your money, so, you know, you better take full charge of that, because it is the Wild West, literally. The next one I would say is if you snooze, you lose. This is going to be the second con. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, you move too slow, fluctuations, it's very, you know, sporadic, just like that. Your core BTC can take a massive dip. So, you know, there's taking advantage of the spikes and taking advantage of the dips. When I've been involved in cryptocurrencies, that's what I've been doing. You know, in the beginning, it's easy to get caught up in emotional, just like I did with Collect the Coins. But knowing what it is, it doesn't take me long. I'm putting my money in and I'm cashing out gains, you know. And for me, it's been perfect. I've done videos when I've showed some of the gold that I purchased on Bitcoin, the times I've cashed out. And even when I was on holiday talking with friends, as we've had this big massive dip, I was cashing out of coins. I had a very large windfall not too long ago in cryptos, and I'm from playing it right, cashing out and taking profits, it's worked out fantastic for me. You know, I haven't been in a situation where I've cashed out too early, but I've seen many situations where individuals didn't cash out. So I'd rather be on the better side than the worse. So, you know, that'd be another con. Adding at the end of that, it's very risky. Make sure you do your due diligence. And that would be the third con, if I haven't already mentioned it. Everything I'm mentioning here is a lot more risky than your average buying into physical metals, but I've definitely gained from it. If you have a comfort level and you're level-headed, it's not too much information to take on board, and you can most definitely gain from it. And it's a fantastic way of cashing out some of your gains into physical hard metals, if that's what you're into. For me, being a lifelong, you know, stacker, it's been fantastic, you know, being able to just cash out from that and into this. But there's most definitely been gains, and, you know, regardless of how strong the pound is or the euro or anything of the likes of, being able to take my gains in Bitcoin and put it straight into this has meant, whether it's a high or low spot price, I'm picking how much I want to spend on an ounce, a half ounce, or 1/10. Mainly focusing on gold here, as I mentioned. I want to try and get as much bang for my buck, and then I'm purchasing it straight like that. So I'm going to wrap this one up. It's been going on for very long, but it'd be fantastic to hear if anybody that is involved in cryptocurrencies, what your experience has been. You know, what dealers do you use? I may go into another video at a later date focusing on the whole entire process when it's talking about dealers and the likes of. But has it been a horror story or a success story for you? I mean, in the end of the day, if you're level-headed and you're cashing out gains as you're supposed to and not getting too emotionally involved, it can always work out right for you. It is technically the roll of the dice. You know, it's very risky, but if you know what you're doing, you can most definitely gain. So go ahead and leave your thoughts and anything you've done crypto and metals related in the comments. Hate or love it, guys. It'd be fantastic to know what you think of this video. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll catch you guys on the rebound.